That was one big challenge which I had, that I didn't have a consistent time slot in my entire schedule on a daily basis, and e-GMAT just fits perfectly right for me to pursue GMAT that way. That was, I think, one of the critical challenge which e-GMAT gave a very ready solution to it. One of the feature of e-GMAT is the pace learning, right, where you get at the start of each section a diagnostic quiz. So that kind of gave me a lot of savings into the time that it required for me to prep for e-GMAT, while not really diluting the real essence or any single topic that I was not aware of. So that way it helped me a lot in saving my time while actually securing a good score with good accuracy. I, after completing a given subject, right, I wanted to see where I stand, right, and that's where having a sectional mock, right, and that too, I think somewhere between 15 to 17 mocks are available for each of the sections, right, so and those are actually matching the standards of GMAT prep or final exams, and so that way, I think the sheer depth of the question bank, right, as part of the each of the sectional mock was very great, and that helped a lot in giving adequate prep resources to me to actually test my ability.
Welcome to today's video review session. To all our viewers here, we have Shreyans today here with us, who got a phenomenal 695 on his recent GMAT, a 220-point improvement from his starting score of 475. Big congratulations, Shreyans.
Thank you.
So very happy to have you here. So
good to be connected. Absolutely, right, and right. Thanks a lot, and big thanks to e-GMAT for helping through my journey.
You're most welcome, Shreyans. You've improved phenomenally, as I said, across all the three sections. Your starting score was a V78, Q77, and a DI66. So a good 7-point improvement in verbal, 10-point improvement in quant 27, 16-point improvement in DI to a DI into. So phenomenal achievement, Shreyans. Congratulations again. So tell us, getting into the GMAT preparation, of course, the score was a challenge. You needed improvement across all the three sections. But what was your other bigger challenges getting
Sure.
into the preparation?
So, just giving a brief introduction, right? So I'm working as a manager in one of the big four consulting firms, right? And the kind of profile that I was into, right, there was no start time, end time. It was not a 9 to 5 job, right? Based on assignments, it could vary from your start time at as early in the morning at 7 a.m. and it could go quite late in the nights also, right? So there was no consistent time period which I could take out from my set schedule to give it to e-GMAT. And I think idea was that you have to be consistent. You have to prep each day for a certain number of hours, right, to have those certain things instilled into you. And that's where I think I learned through a friend that e-GMAT, right, it's a self-paced and you can really start and stop, right. It's all live sessions, but at the same time, it's pre-recorded concept sessions. So you don't really need to commit to a given time, a same time across the entire week. And that's where I think I enrolled into e-GMAT. That was one big challenge which I had, that I didn't have a consistent time slot in my entire schedule on a daily basis. And e-GMAT just fits perfectly right for me to pursue GMAT that way. That was, I think, one of the critical challenge which e-GMAT gave a better solution to it.
Got it. So, yes, consistency was a problem, but I think thanks to this asynchronous structure, what happened was, and I was looking at your journey with e-GMAT, you've been pretty consistent over the last 3 months, right? Because for 220-point improvement, the first mock was taken around initial part of Feb, and you took the test 9th of April. So just in 3 months, you made this jump. So yes, you were consistent, but maybe not at the same time of the day, and that is why the asynchronous.
No, absolutely. Because I was consistent on a daily basis, but at times I was doing in the morning, at times I was doing in the evening, right? On weekends, I'm starting some point, right? Doing 1 hour in the morning, continuing the same thing couple of hours in the night. So that way it was consistent, but not at the same time, which is usually the case for any live session or anywhere you take the classes. You have to stick to a particular time slot or a cohort, as you say, right? So that way it was there.
Got it. So, Shreyans, as I said, phenomenal 220-point improvement. You improved across, quant, verbal, data insights. brilliant scores, B85, Q87, and DI82. So tell me, what were the major features that really helped you make this huge jump?
Definitely. See, when I started off as my first actual GMAT mock, right, from e-GMAT platform, I had scored around 475. And rather than 475, what I realized was that there was a lot of non-convicted answers, right, where some of
Mhm.
the answers to English questions where I was not convinced. I was kind of confused between two or at times three answers, which one is the right. And that's where when I started off with e-GMAT, I realized there's a actual process, right, a proper structure which is put into place in the curriculum by e-GMAT, right? So for any CR question, on any type of CR question, right, they've given an actual structure how you should go about solving those questions, right from understanding the given information very carefully, reading it, then thinking in advance, right? Even before you go on to the answer choices, right? Doing your own pre-thinking, right? Questioning every sentence which is written, what could have been the answer, or what could have been something which is written between the lines, what are the assumptions, right? Creating a falsification scenario, right? And although it seems like a very detailed process, right from reading, doing a pre-thinking, making a falsification scenario, to actually evaluation of the answer choices one by one. Uh, what really instead was that there was a consistent process being followed at each of those questions and responses. So while you have to ensure in the answers that you are giving 100% accurate answers, and you are also following the time limit, right, because you get on an average 2.5 right minutes to answer each of the questions, and doing all these steps within that given choice, right, it can only happen when you follow a structure to ensure your accuracy, and then when you follow that structure consistently to make it as a second nature to you. So that is the process which got instilled upon, or rather got crafted into my muscle memory by e-GMAT, right, through their obviously very supportive curriculum which designed the process, and then the cementing phase which was followed after concept learning. So after concept learning there is a cementing phase where the same nature of problems you need to solve, which is of medium difficulty, hard difficulty, and through that cementing phase you are able to apply all these entire structure processes in answering the questions. And after cementing phase you really become, it becomes second nature to you, and it comes very
Mhm.
automatically, the entire process. You don't really realize that you're applying this structured process, because it comes very naturally into your nature. So every
Mhm.
time you are reading any argument, because English was one of the critical aspect for me, right, coming from a vernacular school, and not English not really being my forte, right. And I was, even in my starting marks, I was not convicted of the answers, but this
Mhm.
entire process of concept learning followed by cementing phase, right, really constructed a very good structure into my responses, and it really gave
Mhm.
a lot of confidence when I'm actually writing the
Mhm.
answers in the final GMAT. So that way
Got it.
these kind of things helped a lot, right, in English. And then coming to quants again, I think again the very similar process is there. There is a structured framework to how you should apply to problem solving, right? You just need to know few formulas, but a lot of work happens beyond those formulas where you apply a structured process to answer solving. So then again those phases being concept learning and cementing phase helped a lot across all three sections.
Got it. Got it. Just want to show our viewers, in action, what you've been telling about. And see, the first thing you have to do, even before cement, is to build that foundation. It takes effort, right, to make the process second nature. And this is uh, you know, uh, your CR course attempt wherein you can see A grades across, which means that you have worked on building that rock solid foundation, really learning the pre-thinking approach, and then making it second nature to you. And the effect of that is something we can see in cementing here, wherein yes, there was initial bit of hiccups, but then we were consistently able to reach that 80%. And even when we look at, say, number properties, the improvement is phenomenal, not just in terms of accuracy, but your time came to below 2 minutes, right? So that is the
Yes,
value, in following that structured approach. And I think that's what,
absolutely.
yeah. So for a non-native speaker who has, you know, not who studied in a vernacular school to have this amazing improvement from 77 to an 85 is really, really brilliant. And more importantly, I think we were discussing, and you said when you took the first mock, you were not convinced about a lot of answers. But getting onto the test, every question that you marked, you knew for a fact that you were confident about the
Absolutely,
answers. Right?
absolutely, absolutely. Right. So that is, I think, the true value add for me, right? When not only I got the right answers, but I got with conviction, which is I think very rare to happen, because usually even as my starting abilities, two or three of the answer choices seems just same, right? You can't hardly differentiate. I think the granularity with which the course is taught, or the concept videos are created, it makes you see between the lines and see clearly what each word in an answer choice can mean a lot, and that is the only difference between correct and the incorrect answer choice.
Got it. Very true, right? And that confidence is what allows you to make the scores replicable. You know that when you go and take the test, you are confident that you will get at least this score, right? So now
Absolutely.
coming to quant shares, yes, you follow the same approach. You learned your concepts, you learned how to solve these questions using the process skills, and then did the cementing. But there is another aspect to quants, which we were discussing, that you
Yes.
extensively use the PACE feature, which means that you took the diagnostic quizzes, and the diagnostic quizzes allowed you to specifically go through your challenging areas. So do you want to tell us how
Sure, sure.
that was?
Sure, sure. So see, coming from a financial advisory background, right, spending there for 5 years, right, some of the calculations or some of the logic inferences come very naturally. Like for example, ratio mixtures, right? We all have studied in 10th, 12th standard, right? All those data analysis or graphical interpretations, right? Those things are something which you have done day in, day out, right, at work. So a lot of things are something which you are already aware of, right? Which you just need to instill a process into it. And while obviously working simultaneously in a challenging job, it was very important for me to plan my time, right? And one of the feature of e-GMAT is the pace learn. You get at the start of each section a diagnostic quiz, right? So if you there are like 10 questions on the quiz, right, and if you answer 9 of them accurately, right, that kind of instills that you obviously know the concept very well, right? You don't really need to spend a lot of time understanding the concept, right? So that way, and if I demonstrated that in each of the concepts or any of the concepts, it allowed me to skip through the section, right, to learn the concepts, and directly we went on to the high and medium difficulty questions for practice questions. So that kind of gave me a lot of savings into the time that it required for me to prep for e-GMAT, while not really diluting uh, the real essence or anything, any single topic that I was not aware of. So that way, it helped me a lot in saving my time while actually scoring a good score with good accuracy.
Got it. So I was just doing the back of the envelope kind of a calculation, Shreyans, and I can see that PACE sort of helped you save, I think, close to 40 hours of quant prep time, right? And just to show this in word problems alone, it was almost 11 and a half hours of time saving. And just for our viewers, this is what Shreyans meant, that you take the diagnostic quizzes, and then on the basis of your score, PACE tells you which are the files that you can skip, right? So
Absolutely.
yes, I'm sure, Shreyans, for somebody who is already hard stretched for the time, to be able to save every minute, every hour is super critical. That 40 hours is a
Absolutely.
huge time saving.
Absolutely. Right. See, while working along with, right, you have your personal commitments as well. Right. You want to raise your extracurriculars at the same time, right? And you're picking studies. So you don't really have a choice or luxury of having endless time. Right. And in this scenario, right, learning at your own strengths, right? Because it's end of the day, it's my strength, right? Not everyone could have that right? So in a, let's say, ideal life scenario, right? You have to learn because some of your colleagues or some of your batchmates would require that learning. So that way, this personalized approach give me a lot of time savings. Definitely.
Got it. Got it. So, Shreyans, now coming to data insights. Starting score was a 66, right? And it is a good, 17-point improvement, 16-point improvement to a DI 82, right? So, what were your bigger challenges, and how did the course help you get to that 97 percentile score?
Sure. So see, again in DI, a lot of challenges were around understanding how few words can change and or make a huge difference, right? Somewhere it was written, let's say your x is equal to 66, x is greater than 66, x is not more than 66. So all those small points, right? These things were really where I was faltering upon, right? And there was endless mistakes which I was making in DI in the initial abilities, and that's when I started going through the concept files. I did a lot of practice, and then I started building error logs very effectively, right? Every practice question I made, every sectional mock I gave, every cementing quiz I took, right? I ensured that I put double the amount of time that I've actually spent on solving them. I put double the amount in analyzing faltered, why I faltered, right? Which words I skipped into, or which information I did not take into account. So that way, I was able to, I think, put together a very good error log in DI, which essentially was a helpful kit or tool at the last minute. Because when I gave exams, right, I had only 2 days, right, to prep for it. Because I had taken, I think when I was given first attempt, I had taken only 2 days back the date, right? So that way, I only went to the error log, and just creating a very detailed error log helped me a lot, because once you've done a mistake, you have thought upon it, you've created an error log, you are very less likely to repeat it. So that way error log, I think, played a crucial role, right? And the way there was guidance mentioned in creating error logs in e-GMAT class, right, that was, I think, very to a very granular level, right? And that helped a lot in DI improvement, right? Essentially, because in DI every word, every smallest detail made a lot of difference while you're selecting the answer choices.
Got it. Got it. Yeah, very true. For somebody, especially who said that who works with data day in and day out, there is still that bridge to cross to be able to make that jump to the 90th percentile score. And I'm glad the course, the error log helped you there. Shreyans, we were also discussing the crucial role that the sectional mocks played in your entire journey. So, how did you leverage the sectional mocks, if you could tell us to get you?
Sure, sure. So see, while I think I had done concepts, then I had done cementing phase, right? But still cementing phase was only at a topic level, right? After coming a given subject, right, I wanted to see where I stand, right? And that's where having a sectional mock, right? And that too, I think somewhere between 15 to 17 mocks are available for each of the sections, right? So, and those are real difficult questions. Those are not something which are quite easy. Those are actually matching the standards of GMAT prep or final exams. So that way, giving sectional mock. So I used to give one sectional mock each day, right after having finished the each subject, because you finish one subject, then you start giving mocks, and then parallel you are reading another subject's concepts and doing cementing phase there, right? So with at times what happens if you don't have sectional mock, you are reading one subject, two subject, three subject, then you are giving two official mocks, right? Which kind of does not give you the option to have a consistent approach to your answers, right? So for example, English I finished, right, and then I need to keep practicing English, right, till I give my final mock. So sectional mock give me that opportunity to do that at the same time. It also gave me a lot of small mocks, kind of subjective mocks, that I could analyze where I'm faltering, right, why I'm faltering before actually giving the final mocks. And so that way, I think the sheer depth of the question bank, right, as part of the each of the sectional mock was very great, and that helped a lot in giving adequate prep resources to me to actually test my abilities and uh, actually make mistakes and learn from those mistakes, right, on a regular basis.
I can see. I was looking at the number of sectional notes that you've taken, like in point, and I think this is, you started taking these once you moved to DI.
Correct.
Regularly, and I can see that, yes, there were days when things didn't go well, but immediately there was that uptick. So it shows not only use these sectional notes to maintain your ability level, but also to fine tune it, to finally take it
Absolutely.
to this place. So that's very nice, James. So how confident were you getting to the test that you will do well? And, how was your testing experience and what section model did you choose? If you could just give us an insight into testing.
Sure, sure. So see, I gave a couple of attempts. Right, first attempt when I actually gave of GMAT, right, I scored 655. Right, and that day it was, I had taken date only a couple of days back. Right, so that point I had taken actual Sigma mocks of e-GMAT, only 3 out of 5 GMATs mocks, and I was scoring decent in the range of I think 675 to 665 when I had actually gone ahead and gave my first attempt of GMAT. So it it gave a very good push because I think e-GMAT, the kind of questions that e-GMAT mocks give are, I think, some level same or slightly difficult as compared to what you actually see at the date of your final official GMAT papers. Right, so that way, I had already solved a lot of questions which are slightly difficult as compared to my final GMAT. So that way, it gave me a lot of confidence just looking at the question that I know the answer, I know the process, I know I just need to quickly wrap this up, and that kind of confidence. Really, I was able to finish, I think, quant section 3 minutes earlier, right? First attempt, right? DI was, I think, not much. I think only 1 minute or so which was left, and English slightly on the my slightly weaker section. I think one question or so I was left behind, right? Which anyways I had to mark because of the penalty that is there for not answering questions. So that way I was quite confident, and it gave me a lot of edge in terms of time as well, right? Because if you know the process, if you know the answer in one go, right, it can save a lot of time at the final test times. So in that way, when later on, between 15 days before my next final attempt of GMAT, I took another, I think, 4 or 5 sectional mocks, or okay, 4 mocks I think I had taken for verbal, and then couple of mocks for quant and DI. And then I gave 2 actual Sigma mocks of e-GMAT where I scored considerably well because I was again analyzing my mistakes, and already given one round of final GMAT, I was already aware where my strengths are and where my weaknesses are. So that way, it gave me a lot of confidence when I went for the second time. So in fact, in second time, in the English paper or verbal reasoning paper, out of whatever questions I marked, I knew very well that 90%, or in fact, I was able to mark with conviction 90% of the questions that I marked, right? I knew that this is the answer exactly. Now I know exactly the reason why I'm negating or I'm not selecting each of the other answer choices. So the kind of conviction was quite high when I took the paper in my second attempt across all sections. The kind of confidence, that is what got built up through e-GMAT's, I think, error log as well as questions difficulty slightly being higher as compared to the actual. So that, I think, couple of factors helped a lot.
Got it. Got it. So, Shreyans, all is well that ends well, right?
Yes.
It's been one hell of a journey. And I'm sure you spent sleepless nights, have 12, 13 hours of work shift, coming back, preparing. But you made it happen. Phenomenal 220-point improvement in 3 months. So for all the other GMAT test takers there, are there any takeaways that you have from your journey? Any tips that you want to share which will help them succeed in their GMAT too?
Sure, right. So this one thing is that we all are very much panicked on the exam day, right? How it will work out and not work out. Right. I think only thing that you need to have a very calm mind at the time of exam, right? Just relax and go, and just have confidence that it's not going to ask you something new. It's going to ask you something that you already prepared for during your test, and that's it. Just need to back yourself, and boom, you are there.
Got it. So trust in your preparation. Go and take the test
Yes,
with a calm mind, and things will take
exactly,
care of themselves, right?
exactly.
That's brilliant. Because see, whatever effort you had to put in, you have already put in. The way you can leverage it to make the most out of it in the test day is by being calm and confident. That's a
Exactly.
brilliant takeaway. Thank you so much, Rayans, for sharing your journey with all of us here. And all the best for the next steps. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. My pleasure for sharing the experience. It was wonderful, I think, with e-GMAT's flexibility. Thanks a lot, Rashmi, to you for continuously checking into me, right? Whether I was, whatever progress I was making, right? Thanks a lot.